Okay, welcome to this year's poetry reading. This is the 25th year that the New Brunswick Free Public Library has had the anthology, and I just realized that this is my 12th year that I have been involved in this program. This year we had 87 poets, and amazingly only 6 of those were from New Brunswick. Some of the locations that our poets have come from this year are California, Connecticut, Florida, Kansas, Maine, Maryland, Missouri, New York, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Vermont, England, India, and Nepal. I want to thank everyone who participated this year, especially our newcomers. A reminder that this entire program is all for fun and to celebrate National Poetry Month. I apologize if there are still any unnoticed errors in the book and if I mispronounced your name tonight. The anthology is now available on our library website for everyone to read or to download. I will put a link to the website in the chat box so that everyone can click on it if you want to follow along. I will try to go through the pages as the poet is reading, but it may not work. We'll see what happens during the program. I also want to thank Pat Valdata for allowing us to use their photo for this year's cover work. You are not required to present your poem tonight. I will call on everyone who is participating in this program to read his or her poem, unless you send me a message in the chat box stating that you do not want to read. I will give everyone one more chance at the end of the program in case you change your mind and decide, maybe I do want to read after hearing everyone else's. Poets who need to leave early will be speaking first, and then I will be calling on poets alphabetically. Please keep yourselves on mute when it is not your turn to read, so others are not disrupted. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat box. All right, it's time to get started. So our first poet tonight is Edmund Baranowski.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Go right into it, eh?
Yes.
All right, so the poem that I submitted to the anthology is entitled The Destiny of a Water Molecule, and it goes like this. If you get in my way, I will flow around you. If you cause too much resistance, I will smooth your edges with soft persistence. If you dam me, I will grow deeper and rise above it, but I will reach the ocean eventually. I am water. It is my destiny.
Thank you. Next up is Raymond Bremer.
This poem is called Up for Grabs. All up for grabs is the grubby scene when little to grab is good. Above the place with an eager lean is an idol carved of wood. Full of this, now that, at different times, money or fame or worth. In the heart of its chest, a dull clock chimes, attending each hour to birth. On the top of its head is an altar bare, aflame with oil lamps. And the sacrifice sometimes made there, its leering visage stamps. With a look and a grin of the gladness of death, sits the god of the marketplace. And the air that worshippers call his breath perfumes their crooked race. The race that they run will never be done till a tear in the sky lets in the eye of the thought that can never be bought. Thank you.
Thank you. I just had a request in the chat box for the person who was speaking to be highlighted on the screen. I believe each one of you can do that. I think if you go up to view and then you can click on speaker, so the person who is currently speaking at the moment will show up on your screen instead of everyone at the same time. Okay, next is Lakshman Balusu.
Good evening. My poem is titled My Heart of Hearts. The tulips blush, stealing your smile. Their toss mimics your sideways swaying as you sing. and every letter of your song is a star whose sparkles illuminate my life. As you pluck the strings on the lute, their melody creates waves that dance with the golden threads in the morning. Its beats ring a soothing calmness in my heart. A lily in the middle of the pond, your looks eye to eye ripple outward both day and night. I feel obsessively drawn towards you, my heart of hearts. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Duela Marie Carty.
Hello, so my poem is entitled, When You See Me, What Do You See? When you see me, what do you see? Are you offended by the color of my skin or the texture of my hair? When you see me, what do you see? A group of intelligent Black men walking the streets, laughing and having a good time, or a group of thugs? When you see me, what do you see? A beautiful Black woman in a white lab coat with a stethoscope around her neck, attending to your needs and listening to your concerns, or someone society thought she couldn't become. When you see me, what do you see? Does my race make you trigger happy? So you shoot me for no reason, leaving my family behind brokenhearted, putting fear in our young children of color, letting them know they are not wanted or loved. When you see me, what do you see? A family all gathered together in the park for a family reunion, having a joyous time, dancing and singing, or a group of loud, noisy people. When you see me, what do you see? By yours truly, me. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Jane Edna Moeller.
Hello, thank you. Oh, my poem is called Sometimes Poems Spray from Onion. Sometimes poems spray from the bleeding purple onions I chop for dinner. Sometimes they wriggle between my dirty socks and towels as I sort black from green. Arrogant young poems loll in the sun, care less if we ever hear them, sloppy and delicious in their salty skins. Some poems are gathered beneath dry leaves, morels to beg from dense cold clay. Poems may fall unnoticed, the last snow flurry shaken loose from the empty cereal box of winter. Smoldering poems drift in the punk scent of the Bradford pear, springing as births from autumn's rut. And tonight I hear thick-coated poems, lightly crunching on bones in the woods. Thank you.
Thank you. Constance. I won't even try saying your last name. Connie, can you unmute yourself? Oh, there you go.
Oh, can I read another one since I flubbed up on that one?
Oh, we didn't hear that one.
The one that's going to be in the compilation is called Casimir, and it's about a cat, and it was really cute. And I was in the middle of trying to get it out when you put me on, so I'll read one that I did with Bill from. I'm from penny candy and jumping double dutch at recess, Monopoly and checkers, and the bouncing ball while scooping up jacks. Howdy Doody and Mr. Buster at 5, and Kukla Fran and Ollie at 7. Rinso white, Rinso blue, and sparrows whistling on the clothesline, squinting in the sun on blue Mondays, clothespins and heavy wash baskets, full of wet sheets, smelling of Clorox, rooting for the A's just because they were underdogs, while everyone else rooted for the Phillies. My big brother Tom, who always watched out for me and sometimes bought me a chocolate ice cream cone at the corner soda fountain. Girl Scouts on Tuesday nights and camping out together summers, sleeping in the field. my Brownie camera, which recorded those trips, telephones, telegrams, yellow pages, and looking out my bedroom window on sleepless nights at the stars to the tune of chirping crickets. I am who I am, shaped by my youth. Happy to be here. Sorry about that I didn't have another poem, but that's the best I could do on short notice.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay, does anyone else need to read early? I have not gotten any other messages. Oh, Maxine?
I do too, Jackie.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I would like to read, and I do need to leave early. Thank you. This is Thinking of Dessert on FaceTime in Lockdown. Lick of an image, tongue of a dream, a game of imaginary treats, favorites from the brain's back pantry. I ask, what's yours? You say, butterscotch pudding. I ask, what made you think of it? We see in the kitchen cupboards of our minds the little box of pudding, royal or mighty fine, its wax paper sack of powder inside. Flick a taste off your fingertip, pour into a saucepan, add 2 cups of milk, egg beater, remember that too. One hand holds the handle, one hand turns the wheel. We laugh while we imagine how the pudding heats, its fragrance while it bubbles and thickens until of all possible cravings, it's the one to tantalize the taste buds in our minds. Maybe yours too, dear reader, everyone's own butterscotch pudding, whether you've ever savored it. You know how rich, butterscotch, sweet, spooned warm into your dish. We laugh at pudding. What made you think of it? From our separate brains and screens, this random treat has come to us that's lurked somewhere waiting to be craved, as now we do, and here it is, warm butterscotch. Thank you.
Thank you. Pat Valdata?
Thank you, Jackie. I'm originally from New Brunswick, even though I live in Maryland now. A love poem. The grown-ups library upstairs from the children's room opened to me on my 13th birthday. For the first time, I didn't go through the side door, past the dollhouse with tiny mice in the attic, to the low shelves filled with thin picture books with Dr. Dolittle, Nancy Drew. No, I walked right up the front steps, that grand entrance paid by Andrew Carnegie's rickety conscience. The massive oak desk was chest high. The card catalog filled one wall. Behind both, I saw the stacks, 2 stories of books in cases as high as I could reach. I walked up wrought iron steps to the fiction section and stared. So many books, all mine, at least for 2 weeks' loan, 3 books each time. I stepped onto the floor, its opaque glass squares set into iron beams. I wish I could remember the first volume I plucked off the shelf. Something in the Sue Barton series, probably. All those thick hardback beauties, the stacks, my personal stairway to heaven. Thank you.
Thank you. And for those who aren't familiar with New Brunswick Free Public Library, would you mind telling your inspiration for that poem?
That poem was written about the New Brunswick Free Public Library for a writing group I belonged to, and we were given an exercise, and that's what came to me. So it is my love poem to the library. That was my happy place when I was growing up.
Yes, we put it on our Facebook page last week. Our board and our director was very impressed by it. So
thank you very much.
Okay, now we'll start going alphabetically. If anyone needs to, cut in, let me know in the chat box and I'll call your name. So first is Radhika Barua. Oh, you're muted, Radhika.
Am I muted?
You're cutting in and out. Your speaker's on, but we're not hearing you completely.
Oh, okay. Is it better?
No, a little bit. I only heard better. I can come back to you if you want to try signing in again.
If she turns off the video, it might improve her.
Yeah, sure.
All right, try welcome or try introducing yourself, Radhika.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
All right. My poem is called Getting Back Home. It's basically about the everyday mundane traffic, waiting for the Uber to back home post work from the city. So here it goes. Getting back home. Snapdragons, the red of brick walls, cased in gray smoke from traffic, caterpillars around. It's a pity the liquor store is still 2 blocks away. Home sits cold like yesterday's meatloaf, carelessly tossed into a Ziploc in the refrigerator. The ride snails towards the subway on the tracking app. A rainbow arches beyond concrete. The rains have ceased. Like wild daisies rammed into a bowl of succulents, making space gingerly while holding on to the wait begins on firmly planted feet. The sea of things cocoons me in its warmth. Another driver just canceled. Today will be a long day again. Thank you.
Thank you. That did cut out a little bit, so if anyone would like to read her poem, it's on page 5. Next is Diane Bauer.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, and I'm not breaking up?
No.
Oh, even better. We're good. All right, I'm on page 7. And this is actually a companion poem. So a couple of years ago, I wrote a poem called Rose-Colored Glasses from the mom's point of view. And this one is from the daughter's point of view. So it's called Sobering Reality, Rose-Colored Glasses, Part 2. Now I see. I finally understand. My mother was right. All my friends moved on. College, jobs, marriage. I am reliving her life. My dreams diminished, evaporated. My mother lost my childhood home in the divorce. My father didn't care about the fallout, only what he would get. My partner and our daughter living in a hotel. No house, no apartment, nothing attainable. Sobering reality of being homeless. Never thought my life would emulate those TV shows. Young, stupid kids with no insight, wearing rose-colored glasses. Wish those glasses showed me the future, foretold what was to come. Would I have listened? No driver's license. Washing clothes in the bathtub. Cooking meals without a kitchen. Choking on the daily grind. Ghostly reminders of who I was, remnants of my past life ebbing away. Is this all my future holds at 21? Slave to minimum wage jobs with no college degree, childcare and chores, worn out, can't sleep, abandoned, alone, broke, bruised and beat up. No amount of makeup covers up. What choices are there now? Unable to see a tomorrow without sorrow, dying day by day. How do I become my grandmother, have vision and dreams, and rewrite this life? Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Colleen. Is Colleen with us? Oh, you're on mute.
Am I? Okay,
Now we hear you.
there we are. Okay. My poem is entitled, You Can Do That. A poem resides in each one of us. Just have to grab some paper and pen, begin to scribble, find your personal zen. Keep composing, you'll be born again. There's a rhyme somewhere still unwrapped. Morning strolls often offer imagery untapped. Knotholes, keyholes, even a barber's pole can spark inspiration. Let it unroll. Let your mind wander along topics. Use words to create vibrant optics. To describe a diner could be a one-liner. Just remember, you are the designer. We invite you all to try your technique, composing timeless verses like the Greeks. So start up your keyboards, rat-a-tat-tat. Writing poetry, you can really do that.
Thank you. Ron Bremner.
Hi, everybody. Here's a blast from the past. I wrote this back in 1977. It's a little quatrain. Smoke rings like rumors, and dreams like stale cigarettes, and a cracked ashtray left behind at the old apartment. Thank you and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you. Short and sweet. Michelle Corbett.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The title of my poem is called Closed. Right? These words I try to convey with my eyes that you do not get is not a surprise, because nothing is said, therefore nothing is heard. Can't expect you to know without some expression of word. I tell myself, be brave, go on and open your heart. But I've been through it all. So tell me how and where do I start? Then it hits home. If I can't share what I feel, then all this we have is not really real, is it? And I want it to be without masks, without fear. I want it to be what I know and feel here. I love you, see, and could not love you more. Oh, my regrets overwhelming as you walk out the door, because these words I tried to convey with my eyes, you did not get. I'm not surprised, because I said nothing, so nothing was heard. And how could you know without some expression of word? Thank you.
Thank you. Lynn Dahl. You were unmuted for a second. There. Oh.
What's going on? Okay, is it okay now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure that I can get my picture on the front, but anyway, I am here and delighted to be part of this year again. My poem is called Ripples Go Further. It's a pantoum. Demar Hamlin, Buffalo Bills player, collapsed in an NFL game. Players of both teams kneeled in prayer. Memorable, vivid, poignant happening. Game halted, then canceled. Prayers of both teams kneeled in prayer. Worldwide prayers for his recovery. Game halted, then canceled. During pandemic, Damar began charity to give poor children toys. Worldwide prayers for his recovery. Ripples extend. Millions of dollars received to toy fund. Damar's charity raised above $5 million. Saints and Pelicans owner donates AED machines to 40 Louisiana parks and centers. Ripples go far, benefit other causes. Memorable, vivid, poignant sight. Saints and Pelican owners donate AED machines to Louisiana parks and centers. Demar Hamlin recovering. His doctor said he is winning the game of life. And AED machines are automated external defibrillators. Thank you. It's delightful to be here.
Thank you. Carlos Raul Dufflar.
Hello, Jackie.
Hello.
Sorry, Beth. Hello. 19 years of contributing to the beautiful New Brunswick anthology. Thank you, Jackie, for being here with us and sharing and working. A moment to heal from the island to the northwest. Saturday afternoon, crossing the Housatonic over the old narrow wooden bridge. The eagle flies on the top of the pole as we entered the Netatuck Valley, where trees surround us on both sides. Along the way, on the edge of the road, is a roadside stand filled with corn, squash, tomatoes, and peppers. A beautiful moment far from the city. The cash that flows to support that living old farm passing besides the Netatuck. Before entering the village, a smell of nature and all shades of colors of flowers. There is a place that doesn't call by name. That moment is ours. At the National Beat Poets annual gathering, crossing the raising sun, honor that belongs to all of us, verses that blossoms into the soul, worth living. It's a beautiful moment of sunshine and rain. It's done at 12 o'clock. On this sunny afternoon, the pathway to the woods, a step that we began to climb on the Appalachian trails, and to Rocky Mountain since 3 years ago. At last, we arrive at the poet's seat. The view beneath the village to honor William Carlos Williams, waiting for spring to arrive to celebrate Poetry Month. And let us enjoy the beauty where everybody waits for the warmness of time. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Joanne Durham.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My poem is entitled Maps. Every home needs a map of the world. Hang by the entrance. Bless it as you might a cross or a mezuzah when you come and go. Trace your finger across continents, not your own. Say names of countries whose sounds tickle your throat and move your lips differently from your own language. Be curious about who lives there, sharing seas and stars. Hope to meet them, fellow Earth dwellers, all calling this planet home. Thank you.
Thank you. Noel Figueroa.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This poem is called Sands of Dubai. Her name is Mystery. Her fragrance of lilacs and desert blossoms fills the air wherever she walks. The northwest winds make her burnt sienna hair dance jubilantly. Her light caramel skin illuminates in the sun. Her dress flows with the breeze like a happy child running in the field. Her name is Mystery, and I am in awe of her magnificent beauty. She has my attention. I stand in awe of her in the sands of Dubai. It has to be at least 105 degrees, but her beauty brings a cool refreshing to my soul. I see her in all her glory, the princess of the desert. I am the prince of the desert in my royal white attire, sitting on my white horse, caught up in the rapture of her femininity. Her name is Mystery. She looks in my direction with the gaze of a distant lover and smiles with an aura of gratitude. Would I be her prince for the moment or for a lifetime? I have no sense of time. Time seems to have stopped so I can take in this moment of grandeur that is the epitome of womanhood in my sight. I ride towards her, feeling the electricity of the event. Were you waiting for me? I say somewhat sarcastically. I see no other desert prince worthy of my presence, she says boldly, knowing very well what she wants, wasting not 1 minute. Will you ride with me into the desert night, I ask, knowing exactly what I wanted. I have waited for this moment. I waited for your manifestation out of the visions of my many dreams, she said boldly, as if to confirm that our meeting was destined in the stars. I reach for her hand and say, then ride with me into the sands of Dubai. Be my bride. We will rule the desert with our love. She takes my hand and I help her onto my horse. You fill the longing in my soul. Take me away with you. Take me away with you. Let us ride into the setting of the crimson sun. Let's leave everything behind and become one. I happily obliged, and in that second of awe, we kiss passionately. We begin to ride off into the desert, filled with the electricity of romance. Will I still know you only as mystery? I said curiously. This mystery and many more will be revealed in the sands of our time, my love. With that said, I was satisfied and made the horse quicken its pace, and we rode into the desert full of happiness never seen before. For we both knew that by the time we made it to the Gulf of Oman, we would be married in a ceremony fit for a desert prince and princess. Thank you.
Thank you. Elizabeth Jonak.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm not going to be on camera because I'm sort of in transit. But my poem is called Unwanted Cats, and it's inspired by a colony of 18 cats that I relocated or helped to relocate to safety at a barn. Unwanted Cats by Elizabeth S. Jonak. Then, outside but not alone, unheld but not unloved, timid but fearless, threatened but resilient. Now, full bellies, warm, cozy shelter, safe barn home. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Ken with you?
He is, but if it's all right, I'll read his poem.
Okay.
Okay. This is called An Ode to Julio and the Mariners by Kenneth Jonak. Last year was different. Despite the hopes and fears, they had found their way for the first time in 20 years. A rookie gained his footing, though he was surely tested. The fans kept on rooting each time the umpires protested. Clearly outside and a very good take. Strike two, cried the ump with a resentful shout. Keeping his cool, the rook steps back in. Same pitch, same place. Strike three, you're out. Undeterred by the hazing, he walks away head high and with no ire. Over and over, the same scenario repeats. This is his rookie year, trial by fire. Believe in yourself. I lost my place. Okay. Believe in yourself, his newfound motto. Never give in is how he prevailed. One day, one at bat, one pitch at a time. With that attitude, he could not fail. Gaining the umpire's respect, the season progressed. Perish the thought, could this team be fated? October baseball had arrived in Seattle, and the fans could not have been more elated. Thank you.
Thank you. Susan Justiniano.
Thank you. Where does it begin? Spread out through generational theoretic musings, one person's chaos is another's balance. Spaces between lay vulnerable, untenable. Where does it begin? Within flaws that make us human, the very marrow they bloom in, anchored by fear and doubt. It starts within. Sweet strumming of self, I see me as I am, flaws and all else. In my strength, I believe, in wisdom, I grow. The very blood that gives me life relays the essence of who I am as I am now and to be. Each bone has a story. Sinews that twist and flex give strength to what doesn't end. I believe in that strength. Sacred visions at every turn. It begins within. That peace we seek, that very humanity flawed. Destined our bones to tell our stories through generations to come. Beautifully flawed in its own story from bone to marrow, compelled and lived, divinely set and flexed. Each bone has a story.
Thank you. Michael Kolitsky.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I have two Tonka poems with that share the same middle line. Together, they're titled After the Big Bang. Big Bang's signature, matter, antimatter meet. Risky encounter. Can't help getting together. Bid reality farewell. Minding own affairs, gravity waves back at us. Risky encounter. Quantum foam tickles cosmos. Achoo, a new star is born. Thank you.
Thank you. Joy Creeves.
Thank you. My mother was a bird. I didn't know my mother was a bird, but now it's clear. Her incessant hopping up and down from tables during meals to bring back more and more, scavenged from the kitchen or garden mid-meal, our hungry mouths forever ready. She was surely a songbird, no raptor, no sharp talons or biting beak. She never really spread her wings to full extension, never soared, but mostly happy, tended to her careful little nest. She did have eyes like a hawk, could spot a four-leaf clover in a patch upon the ground. The slight cock of her head as she listened to our chatter, a robin listening for the worm. Her plumage plain, not distracting, and her singing voice in tune like a Carolina wren. When she called us in for dinner, she used her higher chirping notes so we could hear from our forts that we'd woven from tall grasses in the meadow down the road. What finally revealed her true nature? Her feet. I remembered that they never left a trace.
Thank you. Lavinia Kumar.
Hi.
Hello.
My poem is called It Was Her Macbeth He Liked. Emma Stebbins was her lover, and so she put her atop the sculpture New York Central Park's Angel of the Waters. See her, Charlotte Cushman, Emma's angel, forever supported by temperance, purity, health, and peace. Abraham Lincoln cared for her too, cared for her acting, her Macbeth, a favorite. Charlotte had returned in 1863 from Rome from her lover at Lincoln's request to Grover's Theatre. He, fond of her skill, not concerned by whom she loved. Thank you.
Thank you. Chantel Manning.
This is called Jezebel. Glistening eyes, seductive smile, her lucid gaze hypnotizes like a queen cobra entranced in a musical sway, advancing with confident ease, wrapping tenuous coils around the neck of her prey, enveloping each nerve and synapse in a scintillating embrace. Warm breath, breathing gently, tongue lightly caressing the contour edge of the ear, enticing her prey to feel every intricate sensation of her rapture. She commands full attention through control, manipulation, and deceit. She captures the heart and soul of her victim, then bites when they least expect it, squeezing until the blood runs cold and there is no soul left to retrieve. She finds pleasure in the conquest, joy in the kill. Consequences are of no concern until karma reveals.
Thank you. Angel Martinez.
Yes. Pharaoh Sanders of a Garden of Enlightenment. In poetry, you hear the vibe of jazz spiritual. Listen for tenor saxophone echoes swirling with bass, harmonium, tablas, drums, and bells, and songs emanating from a Central Park stage. Where around you the earth exudes lush gardens of delightful flowers and their sweet fragrances. Sense the mists of water to cool the heart and bring to you visions of peace and happiness. If the earth can be transformed by song, what peace can we gain from its musical voices dedicated to loving justice? As rich as the fruit of the blossoms are melodies for a humanity free of oppression, living in consciousness. If the earth is scorched, let us feel streams of liberation. If the earth is drowning, stem the floods and harvest scented oils. If the earth is darkness, may we be the lighthouses. If the earth suffers from ignorance, bring forth the knowledge. If the earth faces fear of color, let us fly indigenous rainbows. If the earth pains from war, lift us from the poverty that prevents peace. Sun Ra knew your name well, brother. Master of the winds, Pharaoh Sanders.
Thank you. Eileen Millman.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
My poem is called Sitting on a Chair in My Yard One September Afternoon. Sitting on a chair in my yard one September afternoon, I listened for the speech of grass, sun-scorched beneath clumps of yellowed leaves. My eye on the faded to white foxglove leaning limply against the pink phlox. With each breeze, the bedecked and bent carnelian sways against our red house, and the tenacious weed wed to the rosebush shimmers in sunlight. I noticed the constant chant of the small unseen and the rustle and ruffle of maiden grasses behind me. The hand-painted glass bird feeder sits lovely, but I haven't seen a hummingbird in 5 days now. No wordy pronouncement. They knew exactly when to leave this red house. Will we? Thank you.
Thank you. James B. Nicola.
There we are. Hello, everybody.
Yes.
All right. This is a sonnet. Hello, everybody. Welcome greetings from New York. I'm looking at Jersey outside my window. The quality of verse. I cannot say this sonnet will be good, only that it simply has to be. Confessionals don't necessarily make perfect poems, nor does human blood spilled physically by corpses mired in mud at front lines Partisans and soldiers we now mourn, nor using blood as simile, which gushes forth in want of what it would. The quality of verse does not require such uncollected heartstrings of the heart. These need be neither topical nor true, but recollected, tied up, as desire recalled and culled, coined after time apart. No masterpiece of mine can be of you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Yari Perez or Pars? Is Yari still here?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
My artist name is Porter Rock, and I will be sharing with you the following poem titled, Who I Am. I'm a bastard child from the Americas, a product of colonialism, invasions, rebellions, resistance, uprisings, oppression, salsa, bomba, plena, hip hop, perreo, house and soul. Huepa is what I scream out when I'm happy, and coño is what I yell when I'm angry. Soy hijo de una isla que aún lo llevo en mi corazón y mi mente, siempre donde sea que me encuentren. I am the child of an island which I carry with me everywhere I go, in my heart and mind. Even though some of my people may confuse me for a gringo, I am a puro puertorriqueño with a mix of sofrito que te dejará con la boca abierta. The jibaros who visit me in my dreams remind me that Puerto Rico needs to be free, and that I am who I am because of history. See, my blood is composed of the same DNA, coming from way back in the day, from the Arawaks and the Taínos to that of my brothers and sisters from Mother Africa, and that of the sangre de los murderous Spaniards. And even though I was taken from La Isla before coming into this world and placed in the land of oppression and supposedly free, I never stopped learning about my culture, mi cultura, which makes me proud to be a Puerto Rican, para que tú lo sepas. Thank you.
Thank you. Alan Raybert?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Before I read, I first wanted to thank and honor the Lenape people who are the original caretakers of New Brunswick, where this poetry is all originating from. The title of my poem is My Journey on the Red Road. The ancient winds howl beyond the tempered yesterdays of tomorrow. Darkness besought between the mimicry of dusk and dawn's faded light. Tattered clothes for tattered lives endured in the obscurity of the moment. A shadow following unobtrusively in the form of a warrior spirit on horseback. To this I give dissension to the darkness that has eaten many souls. Massacres, residential schools, genocides, and blood quantum counts. Crying mothers losing children, their children, to moral Christian doctrine. Kill the Indian and save the man. You are now a number, not a name. Teardrops flow from my eyes, only to elicit the hatred of haters plagued in complacency. Displayed in a delicate balance of whispered souls, roaming tribal family lands forgotten. Urban natives, res dogs, full-blooded, mixed race, 1/4, 1/8, 1/16. identities denied and stolen from the rooms of our people by those who think of us as dead. This day, I embrace all relatives, two-leggeds, four-leggeds, wingeds, crawlers, and swimmers. I pray for our mother, the earth, our grandmother, the moon, and our grandfather, the sun. Is there purpose in the traditions, songs, dances, laughter, and storytelling of the past? The answer can only be found in one's soul when the red rebel spirit reemerges victorious. I am a wanderer on this trail less traveled, beneath the glow of many crescent moons. I walk on the red road, the path of my ancestors, those who wait for me with open arms. The black hawk awakening me to elders preparing white buffalo sage for my first smudging. A mink Canadian goose feather fan gifted for protection while traveling across borders. Truce from the past, now apparent. A medicine man, sacred pipe, and imperfect arrowhead. A vision quest giving direction, while handcuffs are thrust on my wrist for offering prayer. The words, all Indians are drunken savages and no better than dogs, permeating hatred, as the sound of the sacred drum resonates the heartbeat of resilience, generosity, and life. In the moment, I walk with the grizzly bear, wolf, elk, buffalo, and wise beaver. I soar with the guidance of the eagle, raven, hawk, phoenix, crow, and thunderbird. My companions are the winding rivers, snow-capped mountains, and forgotten mesas. I rest in the open meadows embroidered by wildflowers as forest-clad canopies beckon. I hear the cries of women and children, along with the 100 million lost to genocide. Existence is resistance, a proclamation demanded to protect the next 7 generations. I stand with the water protectors, land protectors, wisdom keepers, and elders, never forgetting Wounded Knee, the Trail of Tears, 38, the Dakota Access Pipeline. Today is a good day to live. Today is a good day to die. Both are my chosen destiny. I stand with the Anishinaabe, Satinic, Omaha, Apache, Comanche, Creek, Cree, Seneca, and Dene. My eyes wide open to the hoop and hope of life, while shedding the skin of the diamondback, allowing the white buffalo calf woman to fulfill her destiny with the sacred pipe of healing. Aho, che miigwech, nawi, masicho, ahehe. Thank you, Creator.
Thank you. Bob Rosenblum. Bob, you're on mute.
I think I got it. Phew. The poem is 1949, and if you want to try something, this poem involves picking a year, the year of your birth, place where you were born, first names of your parents, a roadway near your house, and favorite flower, I guess, and do it in 6 lines. So that's the little exercise this is. 1949. Brooklyn, Izzy and Sonia fight in the car over my first and middle name. They're on the Belt Parkway heading for the hospital. She thinks her bag of waters broke from bickering. They pull off to the side of the road where forsythias sing all about spring in a wet snowfall. That's it.
Thank you. Zazel Sanchez Gonzalez. I know she's been eagerly waiting.
Okay. Yeah. The title of my poem is The Human Kite. It's about a kite that my dad, pulls her to always the right place. As I grew up from day to night, my dad, my leader, pulled me with all his might to the right side of life. I am the human kite sailing by for the sky. From up above, the wind kisses me with its love, while the dove said, hello, geese and ducks flowing on the snow, running between the trees, the Raritan River and the deer, and in the petals of the flowers, hummingbirds and bees. Sometimes I feel that I am a butterfly posed on a rose, but when the thorn is close, the rope wakes me gently, pushes me outside of the storm. The butterfly transforms again in a human kite. Life goes too fast, and I hope one day my dad cuts the rope, and at last I will be an eagle flying freely by the Raritan River. Thank you.
Thank you. And Sergio Sanchez Moguel. Looks like she has to convince him.
Okay. The point is about my the breath of my daughter. The title is Ballerina's Breast Dancing in the Sky. The sunset paints the clouds while running in the shadows. Sophie breaths on the meadows, trying to fly a kite down the hill, a magic lute singing in the wind. Our reverberant hearts dancing a tap, topped high into the sky. A spirit is floating over a kite. God smiles and herself shines like an electrical guitar playing a song of jazz. My soul cries. Ballerina's breath flying in a foggy, magical dance. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Chardine.
Oh, good evening. And please understand, be careful when you turn on a television set. Because perhaps we should still call it the idiot box. Open your eyes and at least try to see there's nothing harmless about cable news TV. Tucker Carlson smirks, smiles, giggles, and beams. His show is the fulfillment of his off-kilter dreams. We can view the anger of Sean Leprechaun Hannity, full of delusions, mediocrity, and solid inanity. Laura Ingraham never deigns to be kind. No need to wonder how she's lost her mind. Does anyone watch CNN or MSNBC? Their ratings lower than rerun TV. Where, oh where, do we dare to turn to the library with books by Howard Stern? I guess this drivel is all we've got. More hallucinatory than legalized pot. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul Sohar.
Yes, here I am. My poem, it's variously entitled as Home Alone or Home Necessities. In this version that I printed out for this occasion, it's called Home Necessities. When I come home alone, It's very much like knocking on the window of a cold and dark toaster oven with nothing to touch and see if it's not too hot to hold and eat, perhaps blessed with a dash of salt and pepper. But what am I talking about? The moment when my trip comes to a halt, approaching a door that doesn't shout a welcome home and has nothing to give, doesn't even tell me where else to go or what it will, as long as I live, stand waiting for me, painted or not. And if I can bring a poem home with a glow, it'll be there for me as my Camelot. Thank you.
Thank you. Zev Torres. You just have to unmute. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, thanks. This is called Bare Words. Words bare and unadorned, unembellished by musical or visual accompaniment, sit out in a chosen order in accordance with the writer's impulses and urges, minding some rules while bending others, expressing the subtleties and intricacies of a convoluted experience, the collision of love and heartbreak, a chilling shriek one sweet scented night, a summertime blizzard, the discomforting awareness of being trapped in a nightmare, all in pulsating and penetrating lines. Thank you.
Thank you. Farah Walters.
Hi, my poem is called Commencing in a Truth. That's a line from Macbeth, and I wrote this for my daughter when she went away to college. Commencing in a Truth. Hairline fracture in heart, but so much hope in hand. I look at the present clutched in your outstretched palms, the future you fought for and earned, your beautiful smile playing across my eyes, your enthusiasm of voice ringing in my ears, your exterior radiance reflecting your interior life, leaving me inflated by love, pride, and something else too precious to describe, something that cracks me open. Please take and keep a fragment of my heart with you. Hold it and hear my whisper echo in your ear. You are everything, my magnificent daughter.
Thank you. Denise Womack. Just unmute yourself.
There we go.
There.
Wonderful collection. Anyway, my poem is Jewel, Seeing You for the First Time. Unfiltered, unaltered, raw, unaware of your power to inspire love that moves mountains, change that alters the course of rivers, deeply scored into rigid earth, reignite a heart staggered by daggers and swords to beat a new message forth. Seeing you for the first time is a moment of recognition, the fervent phasing through body of lifetimes into a solitary infusion point of rebirth. I have loved you before, now, forever, without a word spoken. I am seeing the necessity of this calamitous condition of unearthing self-worth, raising eyes in expectation that I might gaze beyond the minute world, look up and discover you, my universe. Thank you.
Thank you. John Yelovich.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
This is called Solitude. Solitude of a barren beach I revere, where serenity's essence fills my core. Tenuously I walk sand's soggy edge, transfixed by ocean's mighty roar. Idealistic sentiments ebb and flow. My spirit is roused by a salty spray from whitecaps of buffeting waves. I believe past sorrows will sail away. Swift be a calming breeze at my back as soothing reflections come to light. Melodic motifs spur lyrical musings. My squandered chapters I can rewrite. Tomorrow's prospects I no longer elude. Bright vistas before me haven't strayed. Charmed pleasures are within my reach. From doubt I no longer feel betrayed. Time slowly restored wishful dreams as love's chords softly filter my mind, echoing tenderly as lucid images bloom. Cherished bonds I won't leave behind. No longer shackled by dull interludes, I found a key to unlock destiny's door. A lifetime can be buoyantly brilliant. May its promising glow be evermore.
Thank you. Were there any other poets from this year's anthology that we missed? No? Okay, that will do it for this year's poetry reading. I'm going to share my screen quickly so that everyone can see what this year's cover image looks like. Again, it was submitted by Pat Valdata for our photography contest at the library. If you'd like to have more information about that, feel free to email me as well. You can click through the anthology book on the website, or you can download it as a PDF if you wanted to print it out or send it to somebody. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming, and I hope to see you all again next year. Yay, everybody. This recording should be on the website tomorrow.
Thanks, Jackie.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you so much, Jackie.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Awesome
everyone.
job, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Hey, more.
Hello, Bob. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Hey, Paul.